The corridors of the Edet House in Abuja are currently experiencing what can only be described as a massive, unprecedented administrative earthquake, as the newly appointed leadership of the Nigeria Police Force wastes absolutely no time in stamping its complete authority on the nation's highest security institution. In a dramatic turn of events that has caught both security analysts and the general public completely off guard, this first week of March 2026, the newly sworn-in Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, has officially removed Assistant Commissioner of Police Benjamin Hundeyin from his highly visible and prestigious position as the Force Public Relations Officer. This sudden and absolutely decisive administrative action comes a mere 24 hours after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu formally administered the oath of office to IGP Disu at the council chamber of the presidential villa. The sheer speed and ruthlessness of this restructuring have sent a very loud and unmistakable message across all police commands in the country. A completely new sheriff is in town, and he is rapidly dismantling the old administrative structures to pave the way for his own very specific vision of modern policing. For Benjamin Hundeyin, this marks an incredibly abrupt and unexpected end to a tenure that lasted for barely 6 months, making it one of the shortest stints for a national police spokesperson in recent memory. To truly understand the massive weight of this development, we have to look back at the incredibly rapid rise of Benjamin Hundeyin within the strategic communication apparatus of the Nigeria Police Force. Hundeyin officially took over the mantle of the Force Public Relations Officer in September of 2025, stepping into the massive shoes left behind by his predecessor, Olumuyiwa Adejobi, who had just been elevated to the rank of Deputy Commissioner of Police. At the time of his appointment by the now ousted Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun, Hundeyin was a Chief Superintendent of Police and had already built a formidable, almost celebrity-like reputation as the incredibly vocal and digitally savvy spokesperson for the Lagos State Police Command. The Badagry-born officer brought a highly proactive, modern and interactive communication styles to the national headquarters. He was widely credited for attempting to bridge the massive trust deficit between the civilian populace and the police force by constantly engaging with young Nigerians on various social media platforms, addressing complaints in real time and aggressively pushing back against institutional misinformation. His academic background, holding a Bachelor of Arts degree in English language from the Lagos State University and a Master of Science degree in Legal Criminology and Security Psychology from the University of Ibadan, perfectly positioned him as a modern intellectual within the force. Just a month ago, in early February 2026, he was rewarded for his stellar service with a promotion to the rank of Assistant Commissioner of Police. Everything about his career trajectory suggested that he was going to be the definitive voice of the Nigerian police for many years to come, making his sudden removal on the morning of Thursday, March the 5th, an absolute massive shock to the system. However, in the deeply complex and highly political world of national security, individual brilliance is often overshadowed by massive institutional shifts, and Hundeyin's fate appears to be heavily tied to the dramatic sudden exit of his principal, former IGP Kayode Egbetokun. The final days of the Egbetokun administration were heavily clouded by a massive, highly embarrassing financial controversy that severely damaged the public image of the institution. This massive transition brings us to the man of the hour, the 23rd Indigenous Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu. Born in Lagos Island and carrying over 30 decades of hardcore policing experience, Disu is widely regarded as a brilliant tactical commander and a highly disciplined administrative leader. His ascension to the highest office in the land is not a total surprise to those who have closely followed his incredibly decorated career. Disu first captured the massive admiration of the public during his highly successful tenure as the commander of the Lagos State Rapid Response Squad, where he fundamentally transformed the unit into an incredibly efficient, highly responsive and technologically driven crime-fighting machine. Before his massive elevation by President Tinubu, he was serving as the Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of the Force Criminal Investigation Department Annex in Alagbon, Lagos. Disu is a highly educated officer who completely understands the complexities of modern security challenges. Like Hundeyin, he is an alumnus of the Lagos State University where he studied English education, but he also holds 2 master's degrees, including one in public administration and another in criminology, security, and legal psychology. He has undergone highly specialized professional training across the globe, including advanced internet fraud training at the prestigious University of Cambridge in the United Kingdom and small arms smuggling training in Botswana. Disu brings a massive wealth of international and local intelligence to the table, and his absolute first priority is to completely overhaul the deeply flawed operational structures of the force. As we continue to dissect this massive administrative earthquake at the force headquarters and unpack what this means for your daily safety and the future of law enforcement in the country, I want to take a very quick moment to welcome all the critical thinkers and passionate citizens watching this right now. If you are deeply invested in understanding the true political and security dynamics of our great nation, and you want to continuously receive these highly detailed, verified, and expertly analyzed breakdowns of what is actually happening behind the closed doors of power, you absolutely need to be a part of our growing community. Please take just 1 second to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel right now. By subscribing and turning on your notification bell, you are ensuring that you will never miss out on any major breaking news, policy shifts, or leadership changes that directly impact our national security. Your continuous engagement completely fuels our massive drive to bring you the absolute truth without any filters or bias. So please hit that subscribe button right now as we dive straight back into IGP Disu's radical new master plan for the country. The sudden removal of Benjamin Hundeyin is not just a random act of administrative house cleaning. It is a highly calculated move by IGP Disu to clear the deck and build a completely loyal, highly synchronized team that will execute his incredibly ambitious reform agenda. When a brand new IGP takes over the reins of power, it is standard operational procedure for them to appoint their own trusted confidants into highly sensitive positions, and the office of the Force Public Relations Officer is arguably the most sensitive of them all. The new IGP needs a spokesperson who can perfectly echo his new policing philosophy, which is heavily anchored on massive institutional decentralization. On the exact same Wednesday that he was officially sworn in the State House, in the presence of Vice President Kashim Shettima and the National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu, IGP Disu immediately swung into absolute massive action by inaugurating a brand new, highly anticipated 8-member committee to oversee the immediate implementation of the state police system across the Federation. This is an absolutely monumental shift in Nigeria's security architecture. For decades, the massive debate over state policing has dominated the national discourse, with many arguing that the federal police structure is far too overstretched, severely underfunded, and completely incapable of securing the vast, ungoverned spaces where rural bandits and urban criminals operate with absolute impunity. By appointing Professor Olu Ogunsakin to lead this massive state police implementation committee, IGP Disu has effectively signaled the end of the traditional, highly centralized policing model. He requires a brand new communication team to aggressively sell this complex and highly controversial transition to the skeptical Nigerian public. And unfortunately for Benjamin Hundeyin, his sudden exit from the massive national spotlight is certainly not the end of his policing career. Security experts strongly anticipate that a man of his massive intellectual caliber and extensive digital communication expertise will be quietly redeployed to another highly strategic command, or perhaps a critical administrative department where his massive skills can be put to good use without being the absolute face of the new administration. His deeply impressive track record, which includes specialized training at the Martin Luther Agwai International Leadership and Peacekeeping Training Center, guarantees that he remains a massive asset to the institution. However, the immediate narrative completely belongs to Olatunji Disu and the massive wave of aggressive restructuring that he has unleashed upon the Edet House. The dramatic events of the past 48 hours serve as a massive, unforgettable reminder of the incredibly fluid and deeply unpredictable power within Nigeria's security apparatus. One day, you are the absolute voice of the highest law enforcement agency in the country, defending the actions of the Inspector General on national television, and the very next day, a completely new administration sweeps in and absolutely changes the entire operational blueprint. We will be continuously monitoring the massive developments at the Force headquarters, waiting for the official announcement of the new Force PRO, and we will bring you every single verified detail as this absolutely massive national story continues to unfold.